Hello, welcome to Sergeant's Time Training. Today's class will be on how to blouse your trousers. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel to get more videos. Let's get right into it with our task conditions and standards. Task: blouse trousers. Conditions: given a set of Army combat uniform trousers, tuck the trouser legs into the boots. Standards: wear the ACU in accordance with Department of the Army pamphlet 670-1. This is the guide for all uniform wear. Anyone know why we tuck our trousers into our boots? I can think of two reasons right off the top of my head. Both of them are not very nice. Without tucking our trousers in, we have the possibility of one of these creepy crawlies crawling up our legs and biting us on the inner thighs, taking us out of a combat action. So what is the standard? As mentioned before, the standard is Department of the Army pamphlet 670-1. We open it up, go to subparagraph 4-9, combat uniform trousers. It's very easy to read. Once you open it up, just start reading. The combat uniform trousers are worn buttoned and with a belt. Soldiers will wear the trousers tucked into the top of the boots or blouse using drawstrings at the bottom of the trousers or using commercial blousing devices if the trousers are not tucked into the boots. The legs of the trousers must be long enough to allow blousing over the combat boots. Personnel will not wrap the trouser leg around the leg tightly enough to present a pegged appearance or insert any item inside the trouser leg to create a round appearance at the bottom of the trouser leg. When bloused, the trousers will not extend below the third eyelet from the top of the boot. So why did they say not to wrap the trouser leg around your leg so tightly as to present a pegged appearance? Well, if you think about it, what's the purpose of a combat uniform? Number one is to provide shelter against the elements. Number two is to aid the soldier in camouflage so he won't be detected by the enemy. So this is another class on camouflage, but the eyes see three things. It sees movement, color, and shape. So the idea behind the combat uniform is to distort the shape of the soldier. When you wrap your trouser legs around your leg to create a pegged appearance, it defeats the purpose of the camouflaging of the soldier. It allows the enemy's eyes to see a shape of human legs. How about the round appearance at the bottom? Well, that's the same thing. Straight lines are rarely in nature. So if you have, for example, like in Korea, they'll put a spring in their trouser legs with little steel balls inside the spring so that when they walk, it makes a really neat sound. It looks good. However, it defeats the purpose of a combat uniform because, one, of the noise that it makes, and two, because it does not create a baggy or unusual characteristics. B, when buttoned and waist straps are adjusted, the trousers must fit easily at the waist. If you have to suck your belly in to button that top button, it's time to go to the gym, stop eating so much, or buy a larger set of trousers. The bottom edges in the front of the coat will protrude if the coat is too snug at the waist and hips. The crotch of the trousers should not bind. Trousers must fit loosely enough at seat to allow squatting and bending. Right? If you got a wedgie, they're too tight. You should have the same movement if you are not wearing any pants or trousers that you have when you're wearing the Army combat uniform. It should fit you not too snugly and not too loose. Uniforms equipped with knee pouches for internal knee pads inserts must be closed at all times. That's just a golden rule. Anytime you have a flap or button or pocket, you close it. Let's go into a demonstration of how you would blouse your trousers or tuck them into your boots. We start out like everyone does without wearing any trousers, and we put them on one leg at a time. When you put them on, you want to pull them up to where the seat of the trouser or crotch is where it would normally be, but do not button it or tighten it with a belt. Just leave it loose, and then you're going to have a seat. Notice on the bottom the two drawstrings on each trouser leg. That's the drawstrings that they're talking about. Notice on the boots the rubber blousing rubbers that are there. That's what I use. First thing you want to do is make sure that you center the trouser leg and then pull all the loose material out. You kind of want to make it to where it looks like a little fin on both sides, and then you're just going to wrap it around. Put your blousing rubber on, holding it with one hand all the way to the other side. Don't pull it so tight that it's going to cut off your circulation. And then insert your foot into the boot, pull the boot up, and work the loose material into the boot. This is very important. You do not want it to wad up. If it wads up, it's going to hurt you as you're walking. So make sure it's all smooth in there. Straighten out the tongue, and then pull the string or the lace tight, and finish lacing up with the top eyelets. In the old days, the tongue was made of leather. It was a little more difficult to get it all straight. So there's several different ways that you can tie the boot. You'll notice here I'm wrapping it, and then I'm going to tie a square knot in it. And then after the square knot's in there, then I'm going to tuck in the loose ends. You always tuck in the loose ends. You never have loose ends hanging out. It's an unkept appearance. And it can snag on stuff. That is one way. I like that method because it allows extra protection from insects crawling down your boots. It will hold them there at the lip. However, that's not necessarily conducive with this type of boot. So what I do is I tie a bow, and then I tuck the ends of the bow into the top of the boot, making sure they're in there nice and smooth and not all bunched up, because I do not want a big knot where I'm walking on my muscles. Then I go to the next one. So you pull out your pant leg, and just to show you how you do that, it's just a pull and flip type movement where you're going to wrap the back side up under the front side and then put the blousing rubber to hold it. The only reason you need that blousing rubber is, one, to give you added protection, nothing could crawl up your pant leg, and two, to hold it while you put your boot in. Correction, while you put your leg into your boot. And then again, you want to make sure that you make sure all the material for your trousers is flat inside your boot. Straighten your tongue out and then lace the top laces. If you'll notice, I keep looking to see which way my laces go. So on these, they're right over left. You always want to do the same all the way up the boot. You don't want to have some left over right and then right over left. If you start a certain way, finish a certain way. It's just a better military appearance. Pay attention to details. Once you have that done, you stand up, and then you're going to finish pulling up your trousers, buttoning them, and securing it with the belt. Remember, never wear your trousers without a belt. And then, of course, after you're done with that, you're going to adjust. Make sure you have a bloused effect. Make sure your blouse does not go below the third eyelet. This is the back view, so you can see how that fold is. I have full range of motion that I would normally have. I could bend and squat, and you'll notice that as I do this, the blouse fills out more and starts falling down. Now, what you should do is stop the video, back it up, and then put on your trousers similar to the way I did mine, so that you can go step by step until you have it down, and then you don't need the video anymore, and you just blouse your trousers. All right, in summary, what did we learn today? We learned how to blouse our trousers or tuck them into our boots. We learned why we need to tuck them into our boots. And now you could wear your Army combat uniform trousers bloused with pride because you know how to do it. It's important that we take pride in our uniform, that we wear it properly. The uniform represents all soldiers in the United States, all Army soldiers, all State Guard soldiers, all State Defense soldiers. If you wear the Army uniform, the Army combat uniform, wear it properly in accordance with DAPAM 670-1. Let's talk about the right sleeve. The right sleeve is a place of honor. Okay, it's why we salute with our right hand and wear the flag on our right shoulder, because we honor them. When you salute someone, you're honoring them with your right hand. I mean, it goes all the way back to medieval time. It's also why we wear our combat patch on the right side. It's important to understand that the combat patch is not an award. It is a recognition of those that went to war and didn't return. Some combat veterans are very particular at what combat patch they wear and why they wear it. That is why it's their choice, because each one remembers that combat action differently. There's a lot of people that, well, we used to call them PX Rangers, that would go to the PX or clothing sales and buy a patch or buy an award and put it on their uniform that they didn't earn. This is wrong. We should not allow this to happen. So you never want to disgrace the honor of those soldiers that sacrificed all by stealing the valor of the combat patch. If you do, if you wear a patch on that arm, on your right arm, and other soldiers see you, remember, if you look like a duck, walk like a duck, and talk like a duck, they're going to treat you like a duck. And some combat soldier or combat veteran is going to come up to you and ask you, where did you serve in combat? And they're going to ask you about that patch that you're wearing. And if it is a patch that never seen combat, that combat veteran is going to make you feel terrible. They're definitely going to hurt your feelings. You're going to be about 2 inches tall. And you'll be lucky if they don't reach up and grab it and take it off. Remember that. Don't put it on your uniform if you didn't earn it. Wear it in accordance with the regulations and the Department of the Army pamphlets, Army doctrine, and you won't go wrong. Thank you. Have a good night.